Assalamu alaikum students. You are studying chapter number 13 which is about biochemistry, and this lecture is continuation of your previous lecture which was about carbohydrates. And today we are going to discuss sources and uses of carbohydrates. You are familiar with carbohydrates and its different types, which are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. We will study today examples and sources of all these carbohydrates. So first of all, let's see monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are simplest sugars which cannot be hydrolyzed. And here are examples of monosaccharides. In previous lecture, you have studied about structures of glucose and fructose. Another example of monosaccharide is given here, which is galactose. And main sources of monosaccharides are fruits, vegetables, honey and cereals. Next are oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides give 2 to 9 units of monosaccharides on hydrolysis, and mostly they exist in the form of disaccharides. Here are some examples of disaccharides. Sucrose. Sucrose is formed by two molecules which are glucose and fructose, and mostly it is present in sugar beet, fruits and sugar cane. Next is lactose. Lactose is a combination of two molecules of glucose and galactose, and milk and dairy products are major source of lactose. Maltose is formed by two molecules of glucose, and cereals are major source of maltose. Next are polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are macromolecular carbohydrates that consists hundreds to thousands of monosaccharides. Examples of polysaccharides are starch and cellulose. Starch is mostly present in cereal crops such as wheat, barley, maize and rice. And cotton is a very good example of pure cellulose. Now here are some images related to sources of monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Here are some uses of carbohydrates. As you know, glucose is the basic unit of carbohydrates, and our body uses carbohydrates in the form of glucose. Glucose is used by our muscles for energy. Our brain also needs glucose as an energy source because it cannot use fat for this purpose. So we can say carbohydrates are energy providing materials which provide 17 kilojoules of energy per mole. Carbohydrates regulate the amount of sugar level in body. Sometimes sugar level lowers, and this condition is known as hypoglycemia. It is due to deficiency of glucose in blood. Carbohydrates provide essential nutrients for bacteria in intestinal tract. Some bacteria are present in our intestine that helps in the process of digestion, and carbohydrates provide essential nutrients to those bacteria. Dietary fiber helps proper bowel functioning. Cellulose is a type of dietary fiber that can be eaten but it is not digested. Many fruits and vegetables are rich source of dietary fibers. Dietary fibers cannot be broken down, they just help the process of bowel functioning. Bowel is the part of our digestive system. If bowel functioning is not proper, different conditions like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea and constipation may occur. Fiber helps in lowering cholesterol level. Cholesterol is found in our blood and helps to build healthy cells, but increased level of cholesterol increases risk of many diseases. So carbohydrates regulate blood pressure by lowering cholesterol level. Carbohydrates also protect our muscles from cramping. Cramping is a condition in which muscles are pulled, especially muscles of neck, shoulder or back. That's all for today. A side information is given here on page 104. Carbohydrates as source of energy. Carbohydrates provide 17 kilojoules of energy per gram. The food which we take mostly consists of polysaccharides which are converted into monosaccharides. Carbohydrates which are present in our food are broken down into simple sugars by digestive enzymes. These simple sugars, when they are transported by bloodstream, they are used as muscular energy, and these simple sugars, they are also stored in liver in the form of glycogen. Glycogen is a quick source of energy if blood glucose level is decreased due to some reason. And these sugars, they are also converted into fats when there is excessive amount of carbohydrates in our food, and that may cause obesity. Obesity is a condition of abnormal or excessive fat accumulation. Here is another side information, the use of dextrose in drips. Now let's see what is dextrose. Dextrose is natural sugar found in starchy foods. Mostly it is synthesized from corn. Dextrose is crystallized glucose and it provides simple carbohydrates to the body that can be broken down and processed. Now is dextrose solution. Dextrose solution is a mixture of dextrose in water. It is used to treat low blood sugar or dehydration. It is available in several concentrations. For example, 5% dextrose solution means 5 grams of dextrose in 100 ml of the solution. Here are uses. Dextrose solution provides fluid replacement, means to restore body fluids that are lost due to dehydration, injury, surgery or some other condition. It also provides energy to the body, which is about 170 calories. Electrolytes such as sodium, calcium, potassium can also be added according to the requirements of the body. Now is intravenous therapy. It is a therapy that delivers fluids directly into veins. When dextrose is given to the patients directly into vein is known as intravenous therapy. It is also known as drip system and it is mostly used in hospitals in case of surgery, injury or dehydration. In fact, it is the fastest way to deliver fluids, electrolytes and medications. It also prevents air entering into the bloodstream. Fluid that is present in the drip chamber helps to prevent air from entering into the IV tubing. If an air bubble enters a vein, it can travel to brain, heart or lungs and it can be very harmful. That's all about today's lecture.